game too. And I think this could go either way very easily.
And also, Jeremy, this match features the two oldest players in the tournament, To Lian Han and Mika Immonen. There's the oldest at 50 years of age.
Yeah, definitely some experience here in round or second match of the day, excuse me. And look, I think for Team Singapore, I think Yap's got to play a little better. Not that he's played bad or anything, but just a little below what we've seen the last couple of years. And I think Han's going to continue to improve as he settles in. Nice opener there.
You could say, Jeremy, that Singapore led a charmed life in the previous round. They twice missed the clinching 9-ball against Kuwait, but in the deciding rack, Badr Alawadi unluckily potted the 2 and scratched.
Yeah, a little straight here on the 6, so love to go forward here, but he's got to draw the ball back. Doesn't need a whole lot. Well, he didn't do much there at all, and I thought he would come back. You know, it's one thing about an angle on the ball. You don't want too much angle, but the closer you get to it, you can manage those angles, and accuracy becomes a little bit more at a premium. So a little bit of a tester because he does have to work the ball a little bit.
This is my assessment of To Lian Han. He's crafty, clever, savvy around the table, but I think if he does have an obvious weakness, it's in terms of his reliability in potting, certainly from distance, because the cue action can break down a little. It certainly did on one of the missed 9 balls I was telling you about a short time ago.
Extension code.
Yeah, and I think that's why I was saying that Yap needs to play a little bit better. And I say that because Yap has such a good cue ball and he's so efficient with his decisions. He can really keep his little bit elderly partner in line. And this is where I've seen the nerves for the most on Han. It's been the 9 balls, even the ones he's made. Been a little quick at times.
There's his rack 1 of a possible 17, and even that was clearly a nervy effort, but it found the target anyway. And so Singapore draw first blood against Finland.
You know, one thing I've noticed between Team Singapore is that the level of trust seems to have gone up as the tournament progresses. I know Han missed a couple of 9 balls, but so did Yap. I mean, they both missed that critical 9 ball against Kuwait, but I think what we're seeing is a little more trust here. Yap didn't try to do too much on the draw. He just gave Han a long shot, and Han buried it. So I think we're going to see these guys kind of gelling a little more now that they've got 2 wins under their belt.
That's the progress so far, beating Qatar 7-3 and then Kuwait 7-6. 2 tough opponents. Went out in the first round to Finland in 2019. As for Finland, Jani Uski is the junior member of the team in terms of age and career achievement. Nevertheless, he's a former European 8-ball champion who reached the semi-finals of the European 9-ball championship this year. They were superb against Austria. Austria twice winners of this event, but put to the sword 7-1. Against Estonia, it really was error-strewn stuff, but they won 7-5 and live to fight another day.
It's got to be nice for Singapore to open with a break and run. And that's been a bit of an issue for Yap as well. Lost the cue ball a couple times in some crucial moments. Of course, it didn't cost them their World Cup life, but it sure did add some stress.
Speaking of stress, it looks like Han has got a long shot bridging over a ball, so this will give us a little bit of a sense of how confident he's feeling, how comfortable he is.
And he's got to do a little something with the cue ball, so he's got to hit downward on this. The purple 5 really obstructing an easy positional shot on the 4. Shot like this, you tend to want to let the stroke out more and go ahead and draw your ball a little, rather than kind of soft draw it from some distance.
What a bank. Pitäisikö vetää safety?
15 missed
Kenny
pots
also
for
has
Singapore so far in what is 2 and a bit matches. Only 9 from Finland.
Extension code.
Seemed to throw himself at that 3 ball. Did Han?
Nice play there. I don't think he got the complete snooker, but didn't have a whole lot of options, that being Mika Immonen. One thing I saw in their last match is I thought Mika kind of made some decisions trying to make the game a little too easy for his partner. You got to realize you're in the quarterfinals now, and your partner's played well enough to get you there, so depend on him to bury some big shots. With the 6 being there, they can run off the right side, their right side of the red here. Even if they give a little bit of a look, probably not an open pocket. Looks like they're going off the left of the 3. Oh, that's pretty good there. Not too difficult of a kick shot here. Going to the side rail. Should be able to come across the 3. Kind of bank it back up the side rail. Let the cue ball just come across the table, maybe using the 9. That's the right speed. I didn't get quite enough of it. He's going to leave a very easy return safety for Lian Han. Look at this kick shot. Wow. I didn't understand that at all.
Fast draw, ball in hand. Start the clock, please.
Finland on the carpet.
And that's well overhit there, so Han's going to have to work the ball. Center of the table very open, so it shouldn't be a problem, but again, that tidy cue ball is something I think Singapore is going to depend on from Yap.
We shouldn't underestimate Tolian Han. He beat Alex Pagulayan in the US Open last year. Very notable scalp that. He got to the last 32 of the World Championship, 9-ball in 2013. He's been in the top 10 in the 2007 All Japan Championship. He knows what it takes. I just think nerves could get the better of him as the match goes deeper and deeper.
Yeah, I think I give Singapore the edge here. Finland has not been looking as solid as they might have hoped. They kind of limped by Estonia 7-5, and Estonia was not playing their best. So if Singapore can keep it together, they might be all right.
Tell you what, Jeremy, if they have those rolls, they'll be all right.
Yeah, and he just had to let it go there a little bit. And the one thing if you label teams different kinds of ways, solid is what you would expect from this pairing right here. And if they stick to that label, I think they have a good chance to get to the semis.
Yap doesn't miss many 9-balls of that ilk. So Singapore, the number 6 seeds, lead the unseeded Finns 2-0. It was interesting, actually. Only 4 unseeded nations appeared in the last 16. 3 of those nations made it into the quarterfinals.
Ball off the table.
Why does the 2-inch slate cause the ball to go airborne? What is it about it?
Well, I think just, kind of like when you draw the ball, if you're drawing into 2 balls, like 2 balls that are stuck together, just the weight of the ball, right? Maybe. I'm not exactly sure what the physics behind it are, but definitely the thicker the slate, the ball gets in the air just a bit easier.
There's Alexander Kazakis and Nikos Economopoulos. Still, no doubt, trying to digest that awfully unfortunate defeat yesterday.
Yeah, and Alex, he'll be back, and I hope Nico sticks to playing like he's been doing. Man, what a fun guy to watch play. I'll tell you what, Han has brought the break today, I'll tell you. He's hit it square both times. A nice timing in it, getting a nice spread. And you notice him kind of drawing the cue ball past them kisses we've seen all week. That's huge. And that's maybe a little difference in what I was talking about earlier with Finland and Meek as far as some decisions when he's talking about his partner or considering his partner. I don't think Yap is really going to change how he plays much with Han shooting behind him.
In late summer last year, he was the man, wasn't he, Yap? Runner-up in the US Open. Having defeated both Joshua Filler, 11-4, and Shane Van Boning, 11-5. Lost out to Carlo Biardo in the title match, and then the following week went to Michigan and won a big tournament there.
Okay, he wants to just keep a nice soft angle on the 7, nothing too extreme. to come across for the 8. Can't quite hit it naturally with a roll stroke. Has to put a, I wouldn't say heavy stun, but a hair of stun here.
These two have struck gold before. Southeast Asian Games in Malaysia in 2017. They won the gold medal in the doubles. It is the penultimate day of the 2022 World Cup of Pool in Brentwood, Essex, home of Matchroom Multisport, who bring this tournament to you. And they're bringing so much pool onto the scene right now.
Break, leading 3 racks to 0.
One of those to benefit is the man breaking off in rack 4, Aloysius Shap. He's part of a Singaporean team that find themselves 3-0 ahead.
Again, kind of crossing the 1 over. That's always scary. Great shot at the 2. Can't do a whole lot to get on the 3. So the 3 is going to be a thin cut, but looks like Singapore rolling on here in game number 4.
Well, 2 break and run outs so far for Singapore, and who's to say this won't be the hat-trick?
Yeah, if they start to put a couple packs on Finland, I don't see Finland coming back from it. They couldn't close out against Estonia, and they let Estonia come back a little bit. And Singapore is a very different team from Estonia this week.
And he actually got more out of the cue ball there than I expected, but it actually may have put Singapore in a funnier position on this 3. If he's a little thinner, he can track this 4 rails easily around. He's a little thicker. He can pull the ball a little easier, and he's elevated. So this is a tricky shot. There's no great path without, you know, leaving some long distance on the 4, and he doesn't want to do that.
Yap expressing his disappointment with the butt of the cue. Thrust into the floor. Just caught it too thick. But the 3 ball could have ended up worse for them. Much worse.
Yeah, and it looked to me, Phil, a bit of an unsure stroke. Just didn't know what he wanted to really do with the cue ball. Take a little double bank to the bottom rail on the 3. Try and squeeze the cue ball underneath the brown 7.
Siis 3 tonni. Eikö siis kiveä? 3 ja kiven paikalla.
Okei. No, siitä saa koittaa. Tässä tuntuu, että tuli vähän.
I believe Han can see the entire 3 ball, and no reason to go for this. Not only a tough shot, but going away from position. So you're either going to run off the right side of the 3 here or bank the 3 back down table underneath the 9. One of those 2. Watch out, cue ball. Going to get away with it there. It wasn't the best hit.
Ei ole aika lisää sitten enää.
Joo.
Olisiko kyyti?
Varmaan kun tässä ehtii vaan.
Well, the man who just left the table and Mika Immonen were both at the inaugural World Cup of Pool all the way back in 2006. So a couple of elder statesmen alongside younger partners here.
Noin.
Yeah, and with 2 breaking runs and not much in that third game, we haven't had Uski to the table much, so difficult starter for him.
Ei tässä voi lähteä me lähtee safetyä vaan.
One thing that Carl's mentioned a couple times this week, and I totally agree, is I think certain teams got to calm down the discussions a little bit.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought, Jeremy. Pool is such a mental game, I'm always told, and anything you do that breaks up your natural rhythm is going to change how you play your game, and doubles really breaks up your natural rhythm.
Yeah, and this is what I've seen from Yap off and on this week, is the timing off in the swing. Something we haven't seen the last couple of years, and a lot of times he's the type of guy that makes something that could be tough a lot easier, and quite the opposite here on this 7-ball.
Quite a big pocket to go into. Well recovered.
Yeah, and a great sign for Singapore that Han seems to be calming down more and more every game and shot, it seems like. But Yap needs to do the same.
There's just the element of doubt on these 9 balls for To Lian Han. Come on, prove me totally incorrect. Told you so.
Phil, you cursed him.
Yeah, well, he's shot a lot of 9 balls resting near the rail, and he's just gotten a little short and a little quick at times.
That would have been Finland's first pot of the match, and missing that 9 ball is a double US Open champion. Shocking.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, but the guys just need to recognize the problem, and they're just getting a little quick with the stroke again and miss-hitting the cue ball.
Well, we saw it in the match against Kuwait. All 4 players got a look at the 9 ball, and all 4 missed. I don't think we're going to see a repeat here, as Yanni Uski buries the 9 ball to put Finland on the board. That's got to feel pretty good for the Finns. Nice little fist bump. Love a good fist bump.
What a turn of events, Jeremy. It's bad enough to miss one routine 9 ball, but for both players to miss. Yap saying sorry. Why is he saying sorry? Because he wouldn't have had to play the 9 had it not been for his partner missing it in the first place.
Well, the top players are very critical, and I think what Yap is talking about is the shot on the 8 getting on the 9. It wasn't the best stroke and hit the ball a little funny. Could have been better position for Han, but you're right, Phil. I mean, you'd like to say Han's supposed to make that 9.
When Han got over the initial 9 ball, I just had that feeling of dread. Now, these are the winners of the World Cup over the years. It all started at this event in Newport in Wales in 2006. The first winners, appropriately, were Efren Reyes and Francisco Bustamante. They won again 3 years later, and in fact the Philippines have won this 3 times in total. Their most recent triumph in 2013, Levan Corteza and Dennis Ocolio. Austria, double winners. China, they've won it 3 times, and when they won the first 2 World Cups, it was Lee Hee-wen and Fu Jianbo. 2 very different characters. Lee Hee-wen looked like a librarian. Fu Jianbo was a real shot maker, but they gelled so well.
Bang.
Yeah, the 1 and the cue ball is going to get away from him. It's nothing too easy. And we'll see after a couple missed 9 balls who takes on this long shot on the 1 for Singapore. They got to go offensive.
Extension code.
This is going to get tricky on the 2, but super nice shot there, and maybe expected a little contact on another object ball. Can you cut the 2 and get the cue ball by the 8 to the long rail on the left there? That would help things get in shape on the 3. But he's got to draw the ball. This could get a little sticky. That ball kicked a little bit. It's the second big kick for Han. We had one yesterday on the 5.
Jeremy, invariably in snooker when we get a kick, and it's a directional kick, the object ball kicks thick, as was the case there. Is that the same in pool?
Yeah, absolutely. You won't ever have one go the other way. It's all thick, the same direction the cue ball's traveling, it pulls the object ball. Just a little inertia, and again, there's differences of opinions, and I think there's a few different ways that happens. Got to catch this thing and watch out for the opposite side pocket.
Mika kind of hit that ball really quickly, Jeremy. What do you think that says about how he's feeling about this game?
Well, I think the nerves are flowing, and Mika, of course, addresses things kind of quickly anyways, but gets magnified a bit whenever you can feel it, right? You can feel the nerves a little. He's going to need some luck here. So I guess, looked like Singapore was starting off the match really strong, and they did. But probably no surprise, it's turning into a bit of a scrappy match. Both these teams have faced that already in this event.
And in their defence, I also think, Jeremy, and I think you'll agree with me, the pockets do tend to be tightening up slightly. I really thought that Yap's 9 ball would just about fall, even though it hung.
You can reach.
Yeah, day 1 and day 2, we saw those balls fall, and he's really got to watch here. Got to catch a lot of this. And he mishit the cue ball. He hit it on the left, made it deflect out to the right.
Ball in hand. Start clock, please.
The long rail kick there wasn't too difficult, and Hahn being stretched. Just watch him catch a little to the left. Makes the ball go out to the right a little bit. One rail up for the 7 in the right side.
This is not a flight of fancy. It might well have been 5-0 Singapore this. As it is, their lead is only 3-2. And you can't escape the conclusion that before the final 9 ball is potted or missed, we're going to see a lot of peaks and troughs. So Lian Han missed the 9 ball, didn't he? For Singapore to lead 4-0, but it wasn't just one man's blame. Yap missed it shortly afterwards. Finland will be drawing on Singapore's
and seasoned veteran. He is taking a little longer to adopt the jump, or do you think that was just a case of being extended over the table?
Well, I think probably a little nerves also. I mean, just like missing any shot, you miss it the cue ball, it has a lot to do with the scenario, the situation you're in, and I'm sure he's practiced with the jump cue plenty, but a lot of people don't realize it's been around a long time, the jump cue, since about 1990, I think, and it's just that technology has taken it to another level the last 15 years, probably 10, 15 years. And of course the players adopting it more and more.
For a moment there, I thought the Finns were going to jump to attention after that break, but the 3 ball has inconveniently blocked the path to the 1.
Yeah, and some of these teams, you know, our upper echelon teams, I guess, is a little different, but still a little the case. But some of these teams really want the break to get them going. They can run a few racks and put some confidence together. We saw it yesterday with Team Switzerland. What did the break do for them after trailing 5-0? Oh my.
Want a good time, check out the highlight reel from the Switzerland game last night. Ronald Regley making 5 balls on the break. Next time he came up, made the 9 ball. So the game's a lot easier when you can just get them all in on the first try.
Yeah, this is a pretty good rollout here. Nothing super easy, and definitely nothing offensive that Singapore can kind of steal the game with. But I don't think he can quite move the ball behind the, is that the 2 and the 4 up table tied together?
You want to shoot this?
You want me to shoot?
Trying to see where he's going to go with it. I guess he's just slowly pushing the 1 past the 4. Oh, he's playing it that way. Nice touch. And it's cut off the easy kick shot as well. You make this kick shot a little more often than you would imagine. Right before the side with the second rail. Oh, he's going behind the 9. Wow, I expected him to go between the 3-9 and the 2 rails at the 1 ball.
2 failed escapes from Mika Immonen.
Yes, pass.
Throw in Jeremy, a missed 9 ball as well, and the Iceman not exactly cool.
Yeah, a little funny here. He probably would have liked a hair more angle on the 2 to just come 1 rail up the table. A little flat for that. I think it's still possible, but may come 2 rails out of the corner instead. No, it looks like 1 rail.
Extension.
Extension code.
Well, that's more like the Lucius we're used to seeing. Pinpoint precision, doing the work so Han can hit a nice, easy shot. Singapore looks like it might be back in form here.
Yeah, Yap and Shark Syed were in the Dallas area just a few months ago, and we spent a little time, and Yap had made some changes to his fundamental a little bit. Maybe it just take a little time for things to settle in. But I personally told him I don't think I would change much from what you've been doing the last couple of years.
Yeah,
that's my thoughts anyways.
That's a wild decision. He gets runner-up in the U.S. Open, and oh, I should change a bunch of stuff. I don't know.
Well, it wasn't a bunch of stuff, but just a few things, and I think it's still something he's contemplating and toying with a bit. I mean, that's the thing about the great players, a little a la Tiger Woods. You go out, you know, you win a Grand Slam in a year's time, and you feel like you got to do something to improve, and that's just what the best are going to do.
They say champions are never satisfied.
Singapore. Rack 7, Singapore to break, leading 4 racks to 2.
Desislava Boshilova, our referee, has given us the latest in this second quarter-final of the 2022 World Cup of Pool. Nothing doing.
Singapore
Ihan lirotus vaan, sairaaleikkuut, eikö niin? Joo.
Well, Mika Immonen has been to this stage in the World Cup back in 2015 and 2017. Knocked out at both stages. So he's hoping to make it past this one. He's tasted victory here, so he knows what it feels like, but he also knows what it feels like to go down hard. So I'm sure I'll be thinking about that.
Yeah, let that get away by some piece. The thing is, this is not the type of cut shot you want to ease in, especially being elevated over the 6. And where's he going to move the 7? If he does move the 7, which is part of the plan, I would think, contacting the 7 to hold the cue ball. Thing here, don't let up. You let up, it'll chunk right into the bottom point. Okay. This gets on the rail, could get a little funny. It's the same type of shot as far as you don't want to be the one easing this, but maybe the angle says that's what's needed.
Paikalla vaan. Tää on sun.
That was kind of interesting. Did you see Yanni looking completely away from the shot as Mika was hitting a difficult ball? I wonder what that is.
Probably just coincidence. Probably didn't expect Mika actually to pull the trigger that quickly, and Mika's cue ball has not been on a string today, that's for sure, and I'm not sure really why.
Uski was betwixt and between there, but he knocks in the 9 ball regardless. The match tightens up again. The dry break from Singapore cost them. It is 4-3 their lead. Finland just one good break away, then a run out from tying it up.
I think now that Uski's got to shoot a few shots there early, really didn't get to swing the cue much. I think he's settled in just fine. I just advise Mika, keep it simple. Rely on that partner you have. And Team Finland looking a little better.
Partnering Marcus Juva, Immonen got to the final of this in 2007. They lost Finland 11-10 to China. The decision to make on a particular shot in the deciding rack, I recall. They thought long and hard about it. It backfired. But this is the 10th anniversary of Finland winning the World Cup of pool. In contrast to that, this Singaporean pairing of Aloysius Schaap and To Lian Han are trying to take their country into the last 4 of this tournament for the very first time.
Truly the beauty of the doubles here is so much variety. Teams get going and some upsets. Okay, funny little shot, even though pretty much a hanger to make the 4, but he needs to put a little speed on it with the 6 being there, and he could pocket both balls, so we'll see if he gains some position on the 2 as well, just in case they both go in like that. And he put a lot of speed in. Again, the cue ball hasn't been the best for the Iceman so far.
Joo, se on hyvä ratkaisu. Safety on.
He's going to lead the jump. He's really just got to stop his ball there to get a cut on the 5, so I would have to put Yap up here if I'm Team Singapore.
It's kind of a nice aspect of the doubles game. You get to select who you want to take a particular shot right after the break, the opponent break. So it looks like Yap is coming up deadly with the short cue. If you see him with a short cue, run away.
Jeremy, no need for any great thought there. He just got down and played it because that was as obvious as you like. Important to get the blue 2-ball in mid-table though.
Yeah, and Han can't roll this. He's got to hit downward on this. If he rolls it, hits the top side, it probably goes right in the side pocket with the cue ball. Oh, he hit it nice on the other side. He's going to really get a nice return for Singapore and at least most likely keep Finland playing safe here. There's a bank though.
Yep.
Oh, he's got this has gotten away from him. I don't even think he was really going for the bank here.
Pitää vetää ilman sipareita. Sitten pitää vetää ihan nipsu. Ei mitään sipareita. Ihan nipsu. Siis...
Now Han has made some shots from distance. Oh, excuse me, Han made the kick shot. So this is better for Singapore because I was going to say, how much power can Han produce from a long ways away? Rail first there got the best of him. I don't think that was the correct shot. I mean, if you make it, it kind of makes the cue ball travel easier, but very missable, trying to put a little more speed on the rail first. And it's tight to the rail for the rail first as well.
It's very close to the
Immonen out of kilter. A great player not playing great pool, and he knows it. He's disgusted with himself. Going through the ringer, Immonen. I hope for their sake the Austrians, who were beaten by Finland comprehensively in the first round, aren't watching this. Finland in this match so far, a shadow of what they were against Austria. Singapore not playing brilliantly, but they're playing well enough to go 5-3 ahead, and that's more than halfway to what would be a groundbreaking semi-final in the World Cup of Pool for that small city-state nation.
几乎要中球了。
I think in
Singapore, and they're 5-3 up. That's extraordinary.
Another extraordinary thing, the graphics
Singapore
team
break,
here at
leading
the World
5
Cup
racks
of
to
Pool
3.
2022. Beautiful graphics. That thing doesn't happen on its own. A lot of people put a lot of work into that, so good job, graphics.
Well, again, Yap not totally happy with the break. You saw him kind of swing the arm afterwards, trying to figure it out, grinding through it. The result was great, though. 4 doesn't pass the 7, I don't think, so they're going to have to get some type of short side position on the pink 4.
Just go somewhere near in the area. Okay.
On those breaks, are they ever intentionally trying to go to the long rail, or is pretty much everybody trying to control the cue ball right in the center there?
No, there's definitely a hint of the cut break. I don't know how many dollars exactly Filler's made with it this year, but for Filler, it's like a heavy cut break. He doesn't cut it much, puts a little more speed, but oh, that's a nice shot there, getting behind the 8 and almost perfect speed it looks like. So that'll feel good for Yap. Excuse me for Han, and Yap's in a great position. Now Han's going to have to make a nice little 5-6 combo here in a moment. Now, interesting, he could have followed that ball up table back down on the right side for a 5-9 combination that seems like it sat pretty well.
Extension code.
I believe we got a fly on the table. I am so excited.
Didn't pay for its ticket either.
That came up off the shot kind of quick, but did hit it well. And again, looks like what will be a 3rd break and run here for Singapore. And like we discussed earlier, sometimes the break is the one that gets the guys going a little bit. They get a nice shot.
So despite rhythm being interrupted by a tiny intruder, it's all okay for Singapore. At the recent World Snooker Championship at the Crucible Theatre in Sheffield, a bird came into the arena, but thankfully it was a flying visit.
Yeah, and I know Yap trying to keep his cue ball off the rail for on this 9 ball, and a good job there.
Everything going on here at the World Cup of Pool. We've just seen a push-up contest between two members of the audience in between racks. The main contest is to determine the champions, the team champions of the planet. Chinese Taipei already into the semi-finals with that dramatic 9-8 win over the Netherlands. They will play either Great Britain or Spain. Singapore looking good against Finland. If they do win Singapore, they await either Switzerland or the USA.
Rack 10. Singapore to break, leading 6 racks to 3.
Now, apart from his last break, which ended up dry, before that, Lian Han seemed to have sorted it out. Well, that wasn't dry, but one of the balls that went into the pocket, Jeremy, was the cue ball.
Yeah, huge mistake there. Looked at me, he tried to get a little more into it that time. Maybe that dry break on the last, in the back of his mind, wanted to put a little more speed and lost the cue ball, and nothing wakes up a team struggling more than ball in hand. He's going to have to play a problem 4 combo here. Could play the 1 up in the upper corner, no problem with ball in hand. The side, he's got options, but this is pretty easy. And this layout right here with ball in hand, that doesn't hurt a team that's struggling a little bit either. Everything pretty near each other.
Yeah, it looks pretty good to me. Mika's not having a ton of luck with matchroom events this year. He missed out on the top 16 in the World Pool Championship, the UK Open, and the World Pool Masters. He was actually eliminated by Francisco Sanchez Ruiz in the World Pool Masters and knocked to the losers bracket by David Al-Qaidi, both members of Team Spain. So he'll have to get to the finals if he wants revenge on them.
Jeremy, what happened to Immonen in the World Championship will stick with him for many a year, if not forever.
Yeah, and it was a ways away from the championship, so that's one easier way to look at it. But I mean, you know, sometimes you're not on the better end of things, but definitely a part of that championship that Shane won, and one that it's eluded him, even though, you know, like I said, he was on the wrong end of that match. But to be there and be involved, I think in time he won't mind it so much. That was a surprise. Well struck, though.
The match we were just talking about, Immonen led 10-3 against Shane Van Boening, lost 11-10. Now this time he's got the opportunity to forge a comeback of his own, and that's the start. 6-4 now, the Finns trail. I think Jeremy was very perceptive when he was talking about this break-off. No doubt in my mind that Jeremy was right. Lian Han tried to put something else into that break, some more power, and by doing so he compromised accuracy. He went straight into the middle pocket with the white, and when you do that, it can be really expensive. It was.
Yeah, and if anything, from our first match, of course, the Coe brothers playing great, and the Netherlands just right behind them. But if anything, these teams can look at, you know, Holland trailed 8-5 there, and just kept their head down, stuck to business, got a chance, tied it up. A little unfortunate there in the last game with, and Coe played a beautiful safety, so you can't give up. And that's what these best players, they definitely don't.
I know Colin and I are big advocates of the winner breaks format, and the other great advantage of it that perhaps doesn't get as much attention as it should.
Track
It
11.
facilitates thrilling
Finland break,
comebacks.
trailing by 6 racks to 4.
Perfect speed there. Oh, as far as tracking the one. Now the one got a little bit of a kiss. Now the 6 got in the way. So it's just been one of those matches for Finland, not getting much offensive to start after their break shot.
Mitä mielessä?
Mä voin melkein työntää sitä vastaan. Tulee sit tuolta omaa tonne kutosen taakse.
Ei. Tuolla on ykkönen tällaisessa. Tää pitää aika reilu forssilla, että valkoinen ei ota kutoseen, mutta eikö se ole parempi vetää tänne rykelmän taakse?
Joo.
Ykkönen suoraan ylös. Eiks niin?
Not sure what he's telling him to do, obviously, and I think he can see a decent amount of the one. Cross the one over, maybe bank it back up between the 6-3 and run the cue ball behind the pink. Something like that, maybe? Yeah, like that. Nice shot, young man.
Well called, Jeremy Jones. If you're just tuning in and this is the first time you've ever heard pool before in your life, Jeremy Jones is one of the greatest in the game. So if he says something, you listen.
Well, thank you, Raleigh, and forget the saying. I'll think of it in a moment. I'm sure Phil knows it right off the top of his head, but oh, nice shot. This may go in, which would be a little unfortunate, and it's going to leave a pretty easy jump as well.
We're thinking what the correct response should have been, Jeremy. I think we might say the check's in the post.
Well, it's from a movie I was thinking of, and it's just not coming to my mind just yet. But we've got a few games left in this match, and we'll see. He's going to hit the 9 and get a snooker. Yeah, and he really cut this quite a bit. And you could see he really hit the right jaw with the 1 and just need to be a little more accurate. Hitting the 1 a little more full.
Extension code.
Aika läheltä keskipäätä. Eikö niin? Ja myötäsivari.
How many times, Jeremy, and this is a rhetorical question, have we seen one cushion hook escapes not do the job?
Yeah, and it seems to me the common denominator between them all is really going after it with a lot more pace than needed. I mean, of course, you're trying to create luck sometimes, but luck doesn't always equate to more speed. Luck, first of all, goes along with making contact on the ball.
Yeah, we saw it in the Chinese Taipei game in the first rack. I think it was Ko Ping Chung missed a pretty close-in kick, and he missed it thick as well. So I guess these rails are kind of grabbing that ball and throwing it back at a much thicker angle than the players are expecting.
Yeah, errors in terms of snooker escapes began in the very first match, and they've not abated. Oh, that is unforgivable. That was a sitter.
Yeah, and you know, he's only a foot away, 2 feet away, so you can't say it's an aiming error. But again, when you get quick, you make the ball pull with the cue ball, and just like a kick, like a skid, no coincidence to me that it's been a few times like on. And what you do is you send kind of a flat cue ball instead of a rotating ball at the object ball, and it just, you know, creates a little more friction. This is going to be just fine.
So Jeremy, just to clarify, if he had hit that with a little rotation, you think that ball would have just gone in?
Yeah, a little cleaner stroke. It's not going to be like a heavy spin shot, but a lot of people don't realize most stuns do carry rotation even at a mild pace.
What a gift presented to the Finns. That was arguably the easiest ball we've seen missed in the entire tournament. Torsten Homan, a double world champion, missed a very routine 8-ball at a crucial stage in Germany's match against Netherlands yesterday. That stung. So will this. He seems not too badly affected by it right now, but inside he must be full of regret.
You got to believe that, you know, not only those mistakes mounting like that, really they could have separated themselves pretty big time in this match. You got to believe
Back
that.
12. Finland to break, trailing 5-6.
You got to believe that nice clean shots after the break that have eluded Team Finland are going to start to come. Say maybe gets into the pink 4 here, but he caught the 8, and that's going to slow down Finland. It's going to be a safety here.
Joo. Yritin ottaa tänne, että ei päätä paljon. Tänne. Kakkonen sinne.
Extension code.
You always want distance, but let me look at this a bit more, especially since taking the extension. I may move the 2 over behind the pink here and bring the cue ball behind the 9. He did a pretty fine job here, though.
En ole varma, mutta yksi. No, se on valmis kiinni, se on siltä. Hyvä force, tai siis kakkonen hyvä.
He's such a good potter normally, but today just isn't working. So many mistakes, but they're coming from all quarters.
Extension.
Extension code.
Yeah, I guess if there's going to be a game that you make a lot of mistakes in, it's really good if it's a game that the other team is also making a lot of mistakes in. That kind of kept him in the Estonia game, and it's keeping him in here.
using the bridge. Not liked by many pool players, but Aloysius Schaap actually dabbles in snooker, where it's called the rest, of course. He's actually the Singapore national champion. In the final last year, he defeated a gentleman called Peter Gilchrist, who isn't just a good snooker player, he's also a world-class English billiards player.
We know Chris Melling over on Team Great Britain is also a world-class snooker player as well as a pool man.
No niin, Jani. Nyt.
Pretty nice shot. Got a little thin there, but should be okay with him and then real close to the 4. It's really been the speed control. Of course, some misses for Mika, but that's going to be a little much as well. Wrong angle getting on the 6. It needs to go a little more. Uski should handle this.
Toppari vai?
Pikkasen vaan eteenpäin. Pikkasen eteenpäin parempi.
That's a sign of nerves elevated.
Finland not pulling up any trees, are they? And yet, having been 6-3 down, it's now all tied up at 6-6. You know, in Q Sports, sometimes when the standard is low, entertainment value is high. That's the case here. It's compelling viewing, even though none of the 4 players out there is USA-Switzerland. And the winner of that will play the winner of this.
Finland to break, 6 racks each.
Well, you got the wing ball and the 7 ball, and then the 2 and the 8 just roll up and handcuff this cue ball. We're probably going to see a little push out called here.
Niin kuin aavistus, vähän oikeeta aavistus. Pitää vaan aika paksu saada siitä ykkösestä, eikö niin? Mm. Toinen on vetää tätä pushia.
I would guess they're discussing the kick shot at the moment isn't terrible.
Pieni hiipasun kakkosen push ja sitten jää niin kuin vähän parempi kikki, mutta pidetään jotain kakkonen.
One thing they can do is roll out to the roughly the same kick shot-ish.
Ihan niin kuin hiuksen.
Singapore wants to take it on.
Sivukierre. Tulee osumaan, mutta ei saa tulla liian hienoa. Niitä on liian ohutta, koska sitten oman täällä. Ota se tunteella nyt.
And to get the ball to hold up how you want here, if you do take on the kick, it's a lot of high ball with a little speed now. You want to hit the bottom half, bring the cue ball behind the 2-8. And you hit it just a little too full. It was the right stroke, just a little heavy on the contact.
Extension.
Extension code.
He's gotten them pretty perfect here as far as the proper angle to get by the 8, come on one rail between the 6 and 8, and should be able to hold the angle on the 4 to get back over for the 5. Just a little top left English. He's hitting downward on this. This is surprising. Nice touch though.
Yap trying to shoo the cue ball off the side cushion. The more off the cushion, the better the angle on the 4 to facilitate position on the 5.
Yeah, drawing him back underneath him.
Wow, these guys just make that shot look so easy. But all the way down the rail, with draw and side, that is not an easy ball.
That one squeaked in, and again, it's the same kind of thing. Get it real quick, you make the ball pull. He's happy it went in, and that shot down the rail is a lot about conviction, Raleigh. Just kind of, it doesn't mean blast it, but a thorough stroke really opens up the pocket.
The elephant in the room here is that Tolian Han is a bundle of nerves. He can't control his cue action. If he's going to be like this in the quarterfinals, what would he be like in the semi or the final?
Well, interestingly, I remember when Alex Kazakis was a bundle of nerves in the Masters, he was playing against Kachi, and they both kind of fell apart, and Alex was able to limp over the finish line, and then he just whitewashed Shane for the finals. So I guess it's possible that this will get all of his nerves out, and he'll be rock solid if they can get over the line here.
Good point, actually. Raleigh, that was a transformation, wasn't it, in his attitude, Kazakis?
Singapore to break, leading 7-6.
On so many occasions, the wizards of 9-ball pool make the game look ridiculously easy. This isn't one of those occasions. All 4 players are struggling. Makes it all the more intriguing.
And I think for both of these teams, they're just, the doubles and a bit of talking, like I said earlier, maybe a little too much, has just gotten them out of rhythm. It makes it almost look like there's so much pressure on every shot. Not saying there isn't, but it's almost making it very apparent to the players. A little fortunate there, was trying to go around the 2 for the 2 in the same corner. Overcut the 1 a bit, so didn't get through the 1 and caught the 8. Still okay though. Beautiful touch there from Yap, more of what we're used to seeing from the young man. Should be able to cheat this a little bit. Yeah, he can definitely cheat it if he wants, or he can draw back for the 4 on the opposite side.
Extension.
Definitely has a little bit of an angle, and when you're close to it, I would think he can stun up Good for the 4 in the left middle as well.
As much as I like watching a precision pool, something really nice about seeing a deep draw stroke like that. Maybe he was doing it for the cameras. Well, it's going to be Han's break after this. Last time he was at the table, he got a scratch on the break. Trying to juice up his break shot after a dry break. So if he can just settle himself down, I think Singapore could have this thing in the bag.
Well, that was more encouraging. That was a much more fluent stroke, Jeremy.
Yeah, definitely. And you saw the cue ball rotate immediately. That's the key. And it's almost like when he feels like he needs a little more power, he's gotten a bit quick. He's going to have an awkward stretch. That last little revolution on the cue ball really helped as far as the stretch. But a huge 9-ball here for this man and Team Singapore.
Well done, Tolian Han. No sign of failure there. That was a really good rack for the Singapore team. They now move on to the hill at 8-6. Finland, well, they're on the brink of defeat.
Yeah, it's a nice 7-ball right here. Very clean, got a lot out of the cue ball. And I'll tell you, when two teams are struggling a little bit, the stats we'll see here in a moment. Look at the break and runs. That'll really separate when two teams are struggling.
Fist bump.
Well, Singapore, for all of their mistakes, have been responsible for 4 break and run outs. And yet, look at this, the most startling statistic of the lot. Singapore on the hill, 1 foot in the semi-finals of the World Cup of Pool for the very first time. They've missed 9 pots. That is an awful lot.
Yeah, that'll tell you that this match could certainly be over.
Singapore to break on the hill, leading 8-6.
This may be Jin right here. Singapore, and the lefty's going to have a stretch, but that's exactly what they want right here. May have to kill the ball a little bit coming down the table because he is a bit thin, but I think he's all right. Nice opener there from Aloysius, and now they'll start to look at the 5-ball and see how that lies. If it doesn't pass in between the 6 and the 7, this could get a little tricky here trying to get shape on the 5. If it does go, though, they're in a prime spot, actually. Yeah, that's a great look. Yeah, it's just got to draw the cue ball up the table. When you're close to it, you really should command the speed.
Extension code.
I was fooled. I didn't think he had to go around the 8 or even worry about contacting the 8. I thought he could just cheat the pocket a little bit here. chant.
He's missed a 5-ball a lot like this before. Another one just about scrambled in.
Well, this will be a little bit of poetic justice. It's going to be down to Han to sink the 9-ball to put them in the semifinals for the first try. If it were me, I would absolutely miss this, but I think Han's going to be able to knock it in.
I'm not so sure. I am not so sure. The older you get, the more skeptical you get, Rolly.
No, he's been pretty fluid here the last couple racks, so I like his chances.
No problem. Heart of the pocket. This Han isn't Han Solo. He's got a great partner. And in this Star Wars battle on the pool table, Yap overcomes Immonen. Finland defeated. Singapore go through into the semi-finals of the World Cup of Pool for the first time. They played their best pool when they needed it most. They were really struggling, I thought, at 6-6, and then they came up with the goods when required. And it seemed to me as though Lian Han was at his calmest when the pressure was at its most intense. From 6-6, Singapore pulled away to win 9-6, and they now await either Switzerland or the USA in the last 4 of the World Cup of Pool. And that last 9-ball was as sweet as a nut. What a session. Lots of balls missed, but lots of drama. And the nerves, they were intense, frayed, raw, whatever you like to call them. Aloysius Yap, runner-up in last year's US Open, still going in the World Cup together with Lian Han at the age of 50, the oldest player in the tournament and still involved. Singapore missed 9 pots. At times, they struggled, but so too did Mika Immonen, a double US Open champion. And it means 2 teams are through to the semi-finals, both of them from the great pool continent of Asia.